Hi everyone, great to be in your company. Welcome to the Hindsight Podcast. Always a pleasure to be back on the show. We've got everybody here, and of course, there's a change in the cast there. A bit of demons and angels. That's almost the thing you hear because there's a great divide there. But it's good to have me back on the show. Last week we did so much rolling out for the awards we had. Of course, the table goes back to normal because as football players and the great football managers say, what you did yesterday is yesterday, and of course, what happens today is the most important thing. So, thank you for all of that, all the messages, all the great stuff there. Interestingly, also trending, going viral on, social media. Pretty much, that's also great. It's good to have all the guys here. Nee, great to welcome you back to the show because you are one of the biggest supporters of the show, right? And I did think about you immediately. We also won the award. So, what a pleasure to have you back. Yeah, congrats to you as well.
Definitely. Glad to be back here again. And when Wale sent the link to vote, I sent it to my guys. I'm like, this is my show. You all have to vote. And they told me that, hey, don't worry. Since this is what you do, we're definitely going to vote for you. I'm glad.
Nee is always
calm in the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning.
I was even going to say, every time Nee is not around, you always see his footprints everywhere on Instagram, Twitter. He's always posting, tagging the guys. So yeah, big shout out to you too as well.
Wale is back on the show as well. Yeah. Wale doesn't quite like the fact that we don't allow him to speak much, so it's finally good
He
to.
doesn't like to
No, I actually don't like speaking much.
Is it, between me and you,
What?
between me, listen,
I can
take
have
it
an
from,
odd
take,
episode
take it from
every,
me.
every
Take,
now
take
and
it,
then.
take it from me. It's a lie.
No, it's
Right.
a true.
Take it from me, it's a lie. Yeah. So Wale found a way to lessen his tire, found a way to destroy IBK's movement.
IBK is just an
and
idiot.
created a nice opportunity for himself. But good to have you here. Look, when you're behind the cameras, it's different, right? Because all of a sudden you have an oversight of what everybody does. But when you're on the table, always a different ball game, right?
Yep.
So it's a pleasure to have you here. Rufai and I had a nice conversation before we got on the radio.
Not nice, heated.
No, it's a nice conversation.
What do you mean heated?
It's a radio, not radio.
So rather on the show. In the end, conversations have a life of its own. So you have to appreciate the beauty of all of that, right? It can't always be coffee and champagne, right? So good to have you here. Nice hair, by the way. I realized the thing with the hair these days is when you see people, make dyes and all that stuff. People color their hair. You tend to find that there is almost a semblance across everybody. If I want to find dyes, it's always different, right? So his platinum, his blonde hair is not the normal blonde. It's white. So this is a nice color. I actually gave you the expression for this because
No, don't take the glory.
relax now, relax.
Don't take the glory now.
I'll tell you how now.
You gave what?
Did I give the inspiration for this color or not?
Or not?
No.
But didn't I say it on the show 2-3 weeks ago? 1 month. I was going to do a purple on my dress.
Is this purple?
No,
This is not
No,
purple.
relax. Purple or pink, something like that. But it's true. But it's true now. Yeah.
I think you say purple, you say pink.
You guys criminals.
I'll roll the tape back.
Syntax.
I'll roll the tape back.
Syntax. But yeah, that's you guys that have real hair foundation. It's good to. You guys can play with your hair.
I'm always tempted to do something like
Don't
that.
do it with
Before
them
the style,
Baba
they go
go-
watch
But then
you for
again,
hours, and then they go rent your.
time me and Wale. I mean, I know.
You guys actually do the same hairstyle. Difference, different hairstyle actually.
Wale says
He's
it's
a
just
pastor.
a
I'm not
little
a
bit more.
pastor, but he's a pastor. So, but now
Yeah,
you
go do am now. You
If
want
I do
die
am, I
now.
she go disown me.
Telling from first hand experience, Rufai dyes his hair like 4 times before he gets to the color he wants. So
Yes, sir.
I don't. Not many people. If you don't have if your hair doesn't have the toughness, the resilience. I have very soft hair, for example, so my hair pulls out on its own.
Yeah.
I can literally just pull my hair out and I'll be pulling out. So if you find me an idle time, you can find me pulling my beards out. So
And my head no small like Rufai on. So
you guys have the same size of
They
hair.
know the.
That's not
Yeah.
the point, by the way.
You say, as in, I don't even understand that. The thing no be points at all, so I don't even hear am.
Right.
Hey, God.
So you must have seen that we in the last maybe 1 week or thereabout, you must have seen us everywhere, and that's been nice. But one of the things that really made me laugh last week, right? When I grabbed the phone, something is about to come. Someone said, "Oh, thank God, will say I know Rush Mary last year. What's for job this evening?" I totally relate to this because
Inflation.
there are most evenings I'm in my house, right? Most evenings I'm in my house,
Yeah.
nothing to do, nothing to eat.
I think that was what you said. I think we were driving back from the show at Smooth FM the other
Yeah.
day, and you were like,
Shouts to Smooth.
your biggest worry is always trying to figure out what you're going to eat at this time.
Yeah.
Everybody has closed
Yeah.
their shops and all of that. So
Yeah,
always difficult.
There's a guy in Agungi that sells this bag. Interesting stuff. So there is that. But welcome to the show. We honestly today we're gonna have to wing the show as we go along. So I am pretty much on all the big websites trying to find the story. But we did make a promise. We're going to be here till the season starts. Season actually starts on August the 5th. If you're a
Yes,
Premier League
yes.
football
August
fan.
5th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Community shield.
Yes,
August 5th.
community
Yeah,
shield.
that's the community
Then
shield. So
12,
that's a little over 1 month and a week.
Yeah, oh my God.
1 month and a couple of days. Yeah, 1 month and a couple of days. So I think preseason actually starts in 2 weeks' time.
But then we can touch on the Alcon when it starts. From the knockout stages. Even if it's not the
Well,
group stage.
we can do that.
We can touch on
do
that.
that.
And we'll have a few ladies.
We wanted to do a ladies episode.
We'll
so
have that. We'll have that.
And
That might be the perfect time.
all ladies show.
Yes.
Right. All our TikTok followers, you guys are
The MVP.
the powerful. The power of the Gen Z, right?
It's crazy. It's
Needs,
real.
needs to be respected
Bro.
and harnessed,
Definitely.
right?
It's real.
As a result, I have I've put up a TikTok on my phone. I have the app now, and we're together.
Full throttle.
We are look.
All the content.
That's my mobile application
We
right
have
now.
to. We have to go. We have to.
Right,
we have to go to
everywhere,
TikTok.
right?
It's crazy.
I've had more messages in the last 24 hours than I've ever had on the podcast. People sending me random stuff. I mean, there's this babe. She just sent me something. She's like, and the funny thing is that maybe I DM'd her maybe like months ago, right? And you're like, I saw your family. I'm like, your tone is a bit different today. What's happening? Like, you saw me everywhere, right? But that's that. So thanks for that, right? Follow us on TikTok, on YouTube, pretty much alive there as well. Twitter at the Hindsight Podcast. It's pretty much the same account, the same handle across all platforms. So you don't need to
But
search.
people get mine
much.
for this social media. Sha. Do you know there are so many people on Instagram posting and
Oh,
not
yeah.
even tagging?
No, of
They
course.
just
Yeah,
a
for
post.
story, Abby.
For Twitter, they just a post. They don't even. I'm like, but you
So
can't
far,
see.
I
Just
feel
tag.
so,
Just tag.
I mean, so far as you don't take out the issue we had with the other guys, that so far as you don't take out the
name,
lower,
like, the brand name is there.
logo.
Yeah, but it takes long to tag anybody. Just tag,
Exactly,
right?
nothing.
Tag. Let's know that we see you and you see us. It's all love.
So
mutual respect.
Maybe if I want wrong giveaway, we now go know the people we don't tag on pass.
No.
No,
no,
just
no.
I mean,
Right.
second,
I want
off point, second.
we missed the chance to speak about Lukaku last week. I always have the inkling that in the end, Lukaku is one of those players that would never be able to do everything right in anybody's eyes, right? And because I realize how people consume content from big media and traditional media, there's constant an agenda where people don't even see through that, right? So this thing with Lukaku going back to Inter Milan, I think is the best move for the player. I think that there are things that Lukaku could have done better at the return at Chelsea, which at the stage he is at, there are things you don't make mistakes. There are mistakes you don't make anymore, right? As a rookie player, you make some mistakes. As a professional in your first, second, third, fourth year, you're allowed to make some mistakes. But after going through what he went through in Man United, went back to Italy, repaired his image, came back, to not put some checks and balances, to not wield a big stick with the manager, to not have an upfront conversation about what it is going to be. Letting the emotional side of the game have the better of him. Because I think that all of this, everything that's happened to Lukaku in the last 6 months, has all been down to emotional choices than logical choices. First of all, the choice to come back to Chelsea. My opinion, of course, Chelsea needed a striker, but emotional.
Why? There was a void there.
No. Chelsea needed a striker, yes. But to come back there, emotional choice. Because
He felt he needed-
according to him, he had a couple of offers.
Did he?
right?
I
Yeah.
don't
No.
think-
No, I think he could have stayed. He could have remained
No,
at
I don't know. I
Inter
don't
Milan.
think
He couldn't have stayed. He couldn't have
No, I
stayed.
said
have
he
the-
could.
They didn't have the financial muscle to keep him.
Lukaku did mention.
But he made himself available for
Can
transfer.
you, can you guys remember when he moved initially and Inter fans were coming after him?
No, not about the
reason-
fans.
The fans
No,
never.
I said that. I'm saying like the reason that happened was that Lukaku had given the inclination that he was going to remain at Inter Milan. Inter fans thought he was going to remain.
Exactly.
Lukaku wanted
He
to
was the
remain,
one that
but
said
the
that.
club
No,
did
he
not
was
have the finances to keep him.
He made himself
Lukaku
available.
said
He made
he was
himself available
leaving.
for transfer.
Yeah,
He made
Lukaku
himself
said he was
available for
leaving. The
transfer.
moment Chelsea came, he said he
Yeah.
was leaving.
No, but the club needed to sell. And that was the reason
No,
why.
they might have-
that was
no.
the reason.
They might-
listen,
they might have-
listen,
they might have kept
that was one of the
Lukaku and
reasons
sold
why
another
Conte
player.
got-
Exactly.
Conte got
They might have
angry.
kept Lukaku and sold other player.
How many players
No,
are sellable?
Wale-
there? Hold on,
Wale-
Lautaro
wait,
Martinez.
hold on. The reason why Conte got angry was because he wasn't going to get the budget he needed in the transfer market.
Yeah.
They had sold Hakimi and they were about to sell another player. So immediately Chelsea came and they came with the money. They had to let Lukaku.
Here's what
go.
I'm saying.
I'm saying that they didn't.
No.
couldn't stand their ground and say no. These are our price assets. We can't
No,
keep
you have
him.
gotten it
It
wrong.
was because
what I'm
he
saying
made
is
himself
Lukaku,
available
the moment
for
Lukaku
transfer.
actually wanted to go, if Lukaku didn't push to go,
Another
Inter were
player
ready
would have
to
gone.
hold
This
on
is
to him.
This is
Another
how
player
this,
would have gone.
This is how I understand it, and I put this note down on my phone just so I did not forget it. Which is one of the things we're speaking about today. It's good. It's just a good thing that we found a way to circle back into this conversation. And it's about why some players don't get a move in the transfer window, right? For a move to happen in football, in transfer windows, the club must be willing to sell, the buying club must be there, the player must be willing to go as well, right?
Yeah.
So let's narrow that down to Lukaku. The club wanted to sell,
Yeah.
and if you believe what the papers say, needed to sell,
Yes.
right? The player, in my opinion, is always the last. I mean,
I think
it's
he
the,
was
the
indifferent,
player
yeah.
is the most important. Is the most important piece.
It was
You guys
right?
are- he wasn't.
What I remember is that Lukaku, of course, wanted to go back to Chelsea, but it was out of his hands. It was almost an informed decision. Luko, you have to go because we want to sell you, right? Of course, there were buyers. So let's pick it back to it. Emotional choice. Lukaku going back to Chelsea. If what he says holds any water and says, I had a couple of offers to go elsewhere. And I believe that those offers probably give him a better chance at success than Chelsea or in England, because I don't think that United were in for him.
No.
Of course. I think that probably City
You're probably
were probably in for him. If I remember his interview well, he mentioned that City were in the conversation. Chelsea, right? I don't think Liverpool were in for him, right? So let's narrow it down to Chelsea and City. So City and Chelsea, where do you think he succeeds better?
City.
City.
No. The reason why wait.
Straight question.
Wait. The reason why I'll say you should not do this because for Chelsea. No, wait. Hold on. Chelsea have everything he needs to succeed. So don't do that.
Over City.
Yeah. Because Chelsea
Everything-
even
relax,
Chelsea have
relax,
wing
relax,
backs that
relax.
deliver the
Everything,
relax,
everything for
relax,
Lukaku
relax,
to succeed
relax.
over City.
Chelsea
No, I don't want to
You
believe
can't
that.
say
City don't even cross.
I don't want to
you
believe
can't no,
that.
you can't say no, you can't say that because
City don't even cross.
I don't want to believe that.
which team creates the most chances in the Premier League? Goal
City,
scoring chances.
of course.
Creates the most goal scoring chances. City, yeah.
So what is the argument?
I'm saying that playing to his strength, Chelsea have all
What's
they
his
need
strength?
to play to
That's
his strength.
another
I get
question.
what Wale is saying in terms
No,
of City
a striker
created
needs a striker needs service to score goals.
Yes.
City creates
Right.
the most chances, but
But
it
it's also
doesn't mean
about
Gabriel
movement.
Jesus is scoring like.
What
all the goals.
I talking? No. Gabriel Jesus doesn't play as a centre forward for City.
Well, when
He
Aguero
does.
was
He's
there,
just,
he
he's
struggled
just
as
not
well.
as a,
Listen,
you know, as a target man.
He doesn't
like,
he
that
doesn't
remains
like
there.
Romelu
he doesn't
Lukaku.
even like to play as centre forward.
I agree, but when Aguero was there, he struggled under Guardiola
Listen,
as well.
I'll tell you why.
Initial stage when
Gabriel
when
Jesus, after the World Cup, right, in 2018 or the last World Cup anyway,
Tite asked him.
right? Tite asked him,
Yeah. Where do you want?
"Where
to play?
do you want to play?" He said, "I don't. To be honest, I don't want to play as a centre forward,
Out wide, yeah.
right?
There's a
Right,
bit of this thing in the
right,
story,
right.
but
I don't want to play as centre forward, so I'd rather play out on the left or out wide, right?" The truth about the matter is that Gabriel Jesus does not like to play as centre forward, but this is not a Jesus conversation.
Yeah.
What football club in the Premier League gives a striker the best conditions to score goals?
Not City.
Definitely City.
Not
I agree.
City.
I agree with Wale.
Not
Definitely
City.
City.
It's-
I think
Wale.
it's City.
Not
That's
City.
that's.
Can I
it's-
say why I agree with Wale?
I think it's
Can you
City.
guys remember? Can you guys remember when there was that issue of
Who scored the most goals last season?
Wait, no. Wait.
Relax. Who scored the most goals last season?
Liverpool.
Who scored the most goals previous season?
City.
I don't even know.
Who's
It
got
could
the
be
pre-
City could have scored the most
They're
goals in the
always
last 5
distributed.
seasons.
They don't have.
You understand? City could have scored the most
How
goals
many
in the last 5
seasons?
seasons.
How many seasons has anybody top City in goal scoring?
No, I'm not
No,
saying
they
that
could have
don't
scored the
score a
most
lot of
goals in 5 seasons.
But
in
it is
the last 5 seasons.
distributed.
So
But what
that's
we're saying is, it was like Chelsea last season, right? We all agreed that the way Chelsea played last season is a nightmare for any striker. Can you remember when Aguero, when Pep had issue with Aguero, that Aguero wasn't playing, and then Pep played some important games. He didn't play a striker. Was playing a false nine.
Yes.
I can remember
He
clearly.
even played he played Kelechi at some
We
point.
all agreed that this guy plays in a way where he doesn't really fancy, he doesn't mind, he doesn't care if he doesn't have an out and out striker. So City's system doesn't necessarily needs a
point
target man.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, a target man maybe would struggle at City.
Lukaku
but
is
then
not
again-
a target man.
He's what?
Lukaku is not a target man.
He's what?
Lukaku is a centre forward that doesn't play as a target man. He can do it when the game requires him to do it, but he doesn't like to play as a target man. Because if you follow Lukaku as you claim to say you have followed him,
I don't think
you will
it's
know
in the
that
mode
he's
of
not.
Olivier
He's not.
Giroud.
He's not a battle ram. You get?
That's not what we're saying.
Listen,
you don't
listen,
have to be
listen,
a battle ram to be a target man.
Listen. When a team plays with a striker, what it means is that more than half the time, players will not run into the channels that the striker will run into, right? It doesn't concern the chances they create. So if you're Liverpool, for example, right? When Liverpool are moving forward, as far as Mo Salah is in the team, right?
plays in the middle.
Mo Salah comes into the middle because
Yeah.
that's where he's best effective.
Yes.
That is assume that there's a pre-conversation about this is the best area
This is where
you're
you're-
going to arrive in, right?
Yes.
For City, they play their game based on creating chances in the final third, right? If you're a striker in that team, all you need to do,
Just
right,
position yourself.
is to be in the right place when the chances fall,
time.
right? And if you're prolific enough, it will be obvious to the team that you are the one that
Their biggest chance of
yeah, the
scoring.
biggest chance of scoring goal. Because what happens with City? They create many chances but miss a lot. What does that tell you? That they need somebody who is prolific, right?
But
So-
this doesn't
So,
entirely go
no,
with what it has been in the last few
I just try to
seasons.
explain why teams play with strikers. Because strikers are inherently born to finish.
I think you are mistaking something. And that's why I disagree when you say Lukaku is not a target man. When I say target man, Lukaku is not telling you, Lukaku is not saying he's going to stand here all through the game.
through the game.
He runs the channels, but not the way them Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, and these guys play it. He's still the striker. He's still the target man. He's still the guy that you take the ball to, whether on the right, on the left, through the middle, or edge of the box.
So
you play off. That's why at Inter Milan, before he came to Chelsea, Lukaku started a lot of counter attacks. Then finished off a lot of those counter attacks.
So
because the moment they break, they go to him first. He plays it with
And
whoever
then he runs
You
in.
understand?
I don't think he would have had an issue
That's
playing that style at City.
that's an adaptation of the player. Because Inter Milan play a very low block, right? Play with a bank of 5, 3 in midfield or 4 in midfield, right? So what happens is that any player that has pace, when you break, you have
Can I ask a question, though?
you have a highway to run into, right? So that's an adaptation of the
Can I
player.
ask a question though? So why did Lukaku struggle at Chelsea?
I was about to that's what I was about to ask now.
Before you ask the question, you go back to the conversation I had about the emotional choice. Because you don't want to mislead people listening to the conversation.
Okay.
So Lukaku made an emotional choice going back to Chelsea.
Okay.
Because that wasn't his best chance of progress as a centre forward.
But that might be the
But
most serious offer
that's
he
not-
had.
That's not, no. But what do you mean?
Listen,
That's not his best chance
It
as
was-
a forward. That's not his best
On
chance to progress.
paper, it wasn't a wrong choice.
It wasn't.
paper, it wasn't
Was
a wrong
was
choice.
never ever a wrong
And
choice.
even
I'll tell you.
the first couple of games he had.
More so when
Listen,
Chelsea came
listen.
and made sure to register the and guess what? That's why I showed you this.
Hold
that's why I
on,
showed you this now.
hold on. When you showed me an article that says Lukaku asked Inter to accept the transfer.
I won't tell you what's in the inside the body.
Relax.
What is inside the body is because the point I was trying to make was Inter, right? They needed to sell because they needed money.
Yeah.
But they did not need to sell Lukaku. Lukaku told Inter, as a matter of fact, before Lukaku told Inter that they should accept he's going to move to Chelsea, Chelsea had already had 2 bids rejected by Inter Milan.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So it was Lukaku that told them that he wants to move to he wanted to move to Chelsea.
So buttress is the point I'm
So
making.
when you come
so in fact that now gives a third option, right? So I imagine that you had other offers not named Chelsea, and you had the substantive offer, the current reality to stay at Inter Milan.
Chelsea were the only team
exactly.
that offered.
The
Man City,
serious
Man
offer
City,
was-
Man City showed interest but never made a bid.
Exactly.
Listen,
and they were
listen,
more focused on Kane.
Listen. Clubs do transfers different ways.
Yes.
Right? Some clubs need to have a go ahead from the player first, that they have a gentleman agreement.
That is why they have agents.
Before the table.
That is why they talk to their agents.
Before the
And
table, an official offer.
Yeah, the guy
right?
wants to move.
With
Talk to
Chelsea,
the club now.
Chelsea knew that it was a no-brainer. This guy wants to come back to us.
Definitely.
Right? So we go ahead and put in a move. Right? And we turn his head a little bit. So you go ahead and tell your club that you want to come back to us. Right?
I'm coming.
City can decide to City can decide to operate differently because they don't have that emotional connection with the player. So they need to make that establishment first with the player before they go ahead and make the move. So back to the point I was trying to make. Emotional choice to leave Inter Milan. So let's eliminate Chelsea and Man City.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Emotional choice to leave Inter Milan. Because your career, you are just 2 seasons there. Right?
But he's not young as well.
Hold on. How old is Lukaku?
It makes sense in hindsight.
Hold on.
30 now.
I can argue for a
My
logical
job- hold on,
decision
hold on.
for moving to Chelsea
My
at the time.
job is to analyze the situation.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm doing. Right?
He's 30 now.
Right?
So he was 28 at the time.
It was 28 at the time.
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah.
In your prime, you don't make moves. In your prime, you look for stability. In your prime, you look for stability. In the best moments of your career.
Was Inter offering Inter that needed money, financial
Inter-
not stable?
I don't think
Lukaku
Lukaku
was stable about that.
Lukaku, hold on. They just won the Scudetto.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There was no indication that the team will be worse off next season.
No, there was because they had sold Hakimi and Conte had left.
Hold on. Did they challenge for
Did
wait,
Conte
this
leave before Lukaku? After
Yes,
Lukaku?
before Lukaku.
This is the season that Inter Milan came second.
Yes.
Lost the league on the last day.
Yes.
Right? As a football player, you think about your game first. Your game is the first thing you think about. Your game. Before you think about the collective. Right? Your game helps the collective. Make no mistake about it. Right? Lukaku's job was to think about what's the best place for me to continue this upward trajectory. Right? That place was Inter Milan. The next best place
Not
for
necessarily.
it was. The next best place from an emotional point of view.
Based on what we've seen this season.
The next best place for an emotional point of view, because guess what? You had created a strike partnership with Lautaro. He was staying. You had the fans loved you.
As a matter of fact, the reason Lautaro
had
stayed
no
was highly
idea.
was mostly because Lukaku left.
Right.
There
So-
was bids on Lautaro as well.
Yeah. Barca.
I'm there for anyone, right? But in the end, Lukaku made the emotional choice. So now go back. You made the first emotional choice at Inter Milan, at Chelsea. You now make another choice to speak about Inter Milan, which you have left already. That's when the relationship went sour with Chelsea. In hindsight, that's the truth. The Chelsea fans never really moved on from that interview.
Chelsea fans don't move on.
The club
They don't move on.
did not move on. And he himself, even though he doesn't, if he appreciates the gravity of that entire fiasco, it affected him going forward. Because you're not thinking about how to please fans when you should think about just play your game. Right? How do I get my teammates back on side? Right? That kind of thing. So I think that in the end, after everything, Lukaku is the one to blame for everything that's gone down.
I don't think
in
so.
his Chelsea guy. You have a different opinion, which is why I brought the conversation up.
Let's hear you.
So for me, it's like before you leave Inter Milan to Chelsea, you can say he made an emotional, decision from the angle of the fact that Chelsea boyhood club I always wanted to play for. Now is an opportunity to go. That's fine. From that angle, that feels like that sounds like an emotional choice. But also when you consider the fact that Chelsea came with more money, was going to earn more money. Chelsea came and made sure there's not a single player, especially when you're a big player, that moving to a new club or a big club, they always want to make sure that the club wants me. The club wants me. And Tuchel and Chelsea kept pushing to get Lukaku. You understand? Lukaku wasn't even, at first, like I said earlier, Lukaku wasn't even, it wasn't a case of the moment the season ended,
have to go.
I have to go. It was a case of Chelsea registered so much interest. And guess what? The bid that was rejected was about 90-something million. The first one was 85 million was rejected. The second one was 90-something million was rejected. So Chelsea came and offered interest as though this is the only guy that we need. Which, from the angle of a player, you are looking at a team that won the Champions League the previous year. You are thinking, once I go there, we are going to move on and achieve greater things.
It's a higher level.
It's a higher level.
I'll tell you the homework players have to do. If you read Hassan Salihamidzic, I'm not Serbian. He is the sporting director at Bayern Munich, right? The money move this year started about 18 months ago or 2 years ago, right? Salihamidzic spoke to Mane's agent, right? And this is actually something that has to be done more in football, where once a move is sealed and done, right? You can give an interview or you can speak to the media to give a bit more insight as to how these things work. Gave an interview and said, we met Mane's agent and we spoke to Mane. Then we did a presentation to Mane, right? And said, look, the way you play is how we play, right? We play fast, we press, we don't pass the ball around for passing sake, which is why we let the other guy go, e.g. So there was a clear plan as to how to embed Mane. So now, if that works or doesn't work, right? It's left to.
So let me finish what I'm saying.
Hold on. Chelsea play.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Wait. Let me finish what I'm saying. Exactly. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. You said it earlier that
it is the play. No, so the point I'm making is that it is the player's job to make sure that you cover your end of being safe.
That's facts.
I don't think, because everything I've seen from Lukaku and Tuchel, the back and forth is that, we didn't speak about this thing. Like, why are we just speaking about what we're going to play?
No, that's not true.
Where you're signing already.
No, that's not true. That's not true. What is fact is, as a player you are moving, you have to get yourself sorted. I don't think at that level where Lukaku is, he doesn't get himself sorted. As a matter of fact, what happened after his move to Chelsea has not suggested anything like him not getting himself sorted. Because as a matter of fact, you said it earlier that clubs run transfers differently. So Bayern Munich might have, they did what they did. Maybe other clubs don't do it that way, right? But at the time Chelsea wanted to get this guy.
They did what they did at the behest of the player.
Now, at the time Chelsea wanted to get the guy, Chelsea made it clear that, bro, we need you here. And you can imagine, it goes without saying.
To do what?
Listen, it goes without saying that you put a call through to a player like Lukaku, you say, we need you here. What's the conversation? Because we need you here because. That's what the conversation is. Now,
the difference is for a player like Lukaku, who has just come out from a nightmare United. United needed him here as well.
Let me finish.
They paid the record money for him as well.
Let me finish. Now, when he made that interview, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that Lukaku did that was wrong was the manner he went with that interview. Because if you listen to the content of the interview, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong Lukaku did. The content of the interview was the conversation. Remember, the conversation that I had with Tuchel before moving seems to have changed. Because Tuchel has changed the system that I understood I was going to play when I moved.
Yeah.
That was the content of the conversation.
He said that.
So that was where the problem started from. And when you now come down to the fact that even after all of that has been done, right? That's why I said I disagree that Lukaku is solely to blame for everything that has happened at Chelsea. When you now come after that, the end of the season, I believe that's why he wasn't sure whether he was going to leave Chelsea at the end of the season. I am very sure, 100%, that there has been a conversation at the end of the season that, look, this is Lukaku. This is what is the plan for next season. If it doesn't make sense for me, I move. That's why he has moved. So as far as I'm concerned, Tuchel,
it was almost clear Lukaku was going to leave Chelsea.
As far as I'm concerned, Tuchel
2 months ago
is the number one party to blame for whatever happened with Lukaku. Guess what? Also because every time Lukaku wasn't playing and you play another person, right? They score goals here and there, but they never outperformed him. He comes in and he scores goals.
I'll tell you
for
why.
The chances you create for him.
I'll tell you why.
The change in ownership and all that also.
I'll tell you why. Look,
was it not the highest goal scorer last season?
We'll speak about Pogba in a bit, right?
Let me just say something. if the way Tuchel went about winning the Champions League, the tactics,
Exactly.
the tactics,
Perfect for Lukaku.
Yeah, so no,
So it was perfect.
Yeah, so hold on.
Teams don't win champions. Hold on a sec.
Wait,
Hold on.
now, wait first.
I just want to let you know.
Okay.
Teams don't win Champions Leagues based on playing models. You win Champions League based on moments and deciding to be pragmatic to win.
Okay, fine.
But Lukaku said you have changed.
Fine. The way Chelsea played, I won't say on Champions League again. The way Chelsea played throughout that season,
Yes.
was the same.
Yes.
In all the competitions.
Yes.
They played a low block.
They beat. That's how they
That
beat
was how they
City
played.
now.
That's how they played in the league.
That was how they
I'll
played.
tell you how Chelsea played.
Wait now, Chelsea. Say Chelsea. You wait. There was a low block, right? It was more like a 5, even though it was meant to be a 3. But it was more like a 5. You know, they kept their shape and then they go and attack. So I mean,
That was when
and
we were saying this guy starts with 7 defensive players.
Yeah, the first game that Lukaku played against Arsenal was fantastic. That was a sign of things that could have been.
It was
right?
Lukaku at Inter Milan.
Now,
That
also,
game.
another thing also is that another thing also is this. The interview that came out, right? If I'm very relaxed with the interviewer, which is why I agree with what he said initially, that Lukaku should have had a better understanding of how these things work. His management shouldn't have allowed him to be that relaxed in that interview, because I think it was an honest conversation. Maybe it could be that at the beginning you just want to have a chit chat about how it was at Inter before you get to what happened at Chelsea. So the whole romance with Inter was not really bad. The whole romance,
And you know,
I love
Inter fans did a
I'll tell you why.
letter where they said, you know, traitor this, that.
I'll tell you why I don't agree.
They're thinking,
No. I'll tell you why I don't agree.
Well, maybe I should have left these guys.
Look, everything both of you say I understand, right? But it is my job to make sure that we don't, like, that players don't, or at least on this topic, they don't get an emotional pass, right? And this is my analysis of the whole situation. Lukaku did say, right, and he's not a kid. Lukaku speaks 5 languages.
Nah, more than that.
Right? Being conservative, right? Speaks about 5 languages. This is a very erudite guy. You know, I've seen the guy speak. He's an intelligent guy. He's not one of those people that just talk without talking for talking's sake. Lukaku said in that interview, you know, I hope to come back, you know, when I'm not when I'm done, when I'm still Lukaku. You're 28. Right? You're 28.
Ronaldo is 37.
That's
9 years now. What are you saying?
What does that mean?
You're not getting his point.
He's not getting my point.
No, he's no.
He's 28. Ronaldo is 37.
That one is.
He can come back at 34.
Is that you're joking or it's BS?
No, I'm not joking.
Right. Is that you're joking or it's BS?
No, it's not.
So pick one
He
of
can
it.
come back at 34.
Really?
it depends
Relax.
on him now. He
Relax.
can come back
Relax.
whenever he wants to come back.
35.
Lukaku said in the interview, I'm going to come back to Inter, not when I'm done, when I'm still, you know, Lukaku, you know, top player. What I tell Chelsea fans, right, who I believe have some understanding of how the game works. You know, strikers, when you get to 30, you're on the other side of your career. Any player not named, this is what I said, is either you're joking or you're saying BS. Is any player not named Zlatan, Messi, even Messi, Cristiano? Once you clock 30, you know that you have to adjust a couple of things, and you're no longer the prize possession of any club.
Yeah, but the peak of every striker is between 27 to 32. Check all the best strikers.
So point is, when you make that kind of comment, Chelsea fans will be like thinking, so basically you're thinking of staying here for maybe 2 years, right? And what we are thinking, the way we have received you is, you know, you've come home to be here for a while, right? What that does is you already severed your relationship with the fans of the football club by saying something that is unnecessary. Because in the end, the truth of the matter is that you can plan what you want to plan, but time does its thing. And situations happen. And things will happen. So don't speak about things that will put you in trouble.
Yeah, no.
And
I think
for interview,
he was too relaxed. And he said too many things.
I think the interview was still advised.
I think Lukaku made a series of emotional choices that has now led him back to Inter Milan.
I think the reason he's back at Inter Milan is Tuchel. Point blank.
No, and just wrap that up.
Simple.
I would never be a party. I mean, when you accept it, if you look into it from a, if you shine more light on the situation and we analyze with nuance, right? I can understand when some coaches haven't made the right choices, right? But players constantly leaving the trajectory of their careers in the hands of a football manager is something I don't accept.
Yeah, but that's what Lukaku has done. That's why he
more
has left.
more so for a seasoned professional. He is not a spring chicken. And I love Lukaku.
It's not about leaving. So
But that's why he has left. He has gone and had a conversation.
I'm not going to blame the coach for that.
He's not leaving it in the hands of the coach.
No,
That's why even if you're even going there, that's probably why he did the interview. Say, Tom, what did you tell me before? You don't change him.
You can't come and meet me now.
So we need to.
You can't come and meet me now, right? I'm very much comfortable, right? And you go all out and say you want me, and you won't play, and you won't make me comfortable where I'm going to.
Bro,
you
I
won't
guess
play
what?
to my strength.
Bro, I guess what?
Let me go back to where I'm coming from.
And guess what? Even
done.
after the interview, and Tuchel, and let's not all of a sudden act like we don't know that managers do these things. Tuchel did it with Tammy Abraham. All Tuchel did with Tammy Abraham was, yeah, he scores goals. He's the highest goal scorer, but he just doesn't fit the way I want to play, so or whatever. He just wanted to make a point.
The question
So-
is, whilst Tammy has now proved himself, right? Was he good enough at the time? I don't think so.
Where I'm going, that's wrong again.
Better than
Listen, exactly, that's wrong
He was
again.
better than what they had,
See,
actually.
where I'm going
He
is
was.
simple. Where I'm going
And
is
he was the
simple.
highest player that season.
Bro, where I'm going is
Yeah,
simple. You had a team that was playing, but was finding it difficult to get goals. Was finding it difficult to put balls in the back of the net. And you were creating chances. Remember clearly, in the Champions League final, the semi-final against Real Madrid, it was a case of this thing was going to happen for Chelsea, and because Chelsea defended very well, they were playing with so many defenders.
Yeah.
If not, they lost so many opportunities to kill games off. Can you guys not remember under Tuchel when they were saying, Chelsea don't know how to kill games off?
Once
People.
you score once,
It was
yeah.
happening so much under him, but this guy still was not playing. The only guy that had a good goal scoring form.
The truth is that question is, when it happens so much, it's not longer a coincidence. That means the team understand how to see off 1-0 leads. So it is the manager's prerogative to say.
But why was the manager talking about it and saying, we need to, every
manager wants to be in a more comfortable place at the end of 90 minutes.
If Mourinho never talks about, Mourinho knows that one goal, we play like that, and like that, we won't make it.
Mourinho also speaks about killing games off. He does it all the time, right? But also, in his pre-match with the players, look, if we have one goal and we do what we need to do at the back, we win the game. However, we need to score more goals, right? So that's that on Lukaku, right?
All right, guys. I'm a man that needs no introduction on this show. It remains the Hindsight Podcast. When it comes to talking sport, when it comes to talking football all around the world, you get the best information from this particular podcast. You can always join us online. On YouTube, on IG, anywhere online, you can always join. Even on Clubhouse, we're there for you to dish you the best information when it comes to sports all around the world. Stay tuned always.